Hey guys, Quick and Quiz here, back again with another Battlefront 2 video. In this video, this is gonna be my Darth Maul leveling guide. Now, I actually already made this video. It was really good as well. I thought it was really good, and the sound just wasn't there. There was no audio, no game audio, no voice audio. So it was just gameplay. It was just me scrolling through the menu. So I'm retrying it. Hopefully, it'll be better this time. And in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to build the perfect Maul, like the perfect sort of Maul, the perfect character, how to make him as powerful as possible, and I'm showing you basically a really good Darth Maul build. Now this is going to be great on Heroes vs Villains and Galactic Assault. A lot of my experience with Maul, basically like 95% of it, has been with Heroes vs Villains, not with Galactic Assault. So it will work for Galactic Assault, but sort of bear in mind this is very Heroes vs Villains-esque, if that makes any sense. It will work, probably work even better on Galactic Assault though, because people are weak as hell on Galactic Assault. They really are. Well, I mean, it's a bunch of freaking troopers and stuff instead of heroes and villains, so it will probably work extremely well on Galactic Assault. But anyway, let's get into it. Now this build focuses on making Maul as fast as possible and making him great for running down and eliminating enemy troops and heroes. Again, going back to the heroes versus villains thing, this is going to make him great for being like that assassin type hero or villain that's really good at honing in on, you know, the marked target, like singling him out, attacking him way too quickly for the rest of the team to help. Now, like I said, it works very well on Heroes vs Villains, but I think it would work even better on Galactic Assault because of this build. Like the build I'm going to be showing you in this video, it bases a lot around speed and agility, which are, well, that's like Darth Maul's bread and butter. He's not a tank character like Vader. He's not like a defensive character like Rey, or you know, a force-focused character like Yoda or Luke Skywalker. He is a fast, deadly, basically uncatchable dude. So this build focuses on speed and agility, probably will work very, very well in Galactic Assault because, well, you just, like I said, playing against troopers. It's an assassin type character build. It's like fast, hard to hit, agile, really good for singling out players and for marked targets and stuff. And like I said, it focuses on more strengths and improves upon them. Right, I've got the list of everything that I'm going to be telling you here. Now, all the star cards are actually upgraded to rare, up to the blue level. I'm actually trying to save up my crafting parts for, you know, a purple level to upgrade these star cards to purple. Once you get them to purple, they're going to be even better. Just rest assured this build is going to be even better and even more awesome once you get it to purple, once you get it to epic levels. But right now, I'm sitting at rare, I'm sitting at blue on all of them, but it doesn't change. Once it gets to purple, it won't change. It will take a long time to get to purple, though, because those crafting parts, they are hard to come by. They really are. Now, we're going to start off, I'm going to go into the star card. Now, first and foremost, we've got flow motion here. Flow motion. Darth Maul can do 3 spin attacks, but the recharge rate is 15% slower. So usually you can only do 2 spin attacks, you know, the one on right bumper or R1 if you're on PlayStation 4. That's like his main ability. That's like his... It's great for getting around, it's great for dodging enemies, it's great for catching enemies, it's great for killing enemies, it's great for everything. It's like his main thing. It's his most acrobatic ability, I guess. And this ability, this star card just emphasizing it. Having 3 instead of 2 is very, very good. Now I'm using flow motion because it makes spin attack, well, it gives you an extra spin attack, but it makes the recharge 15% slower. Now we'll get to that. I have a fix for that later on in the later star cards, but I'll get to that in a second. But the thing I love about this spin attack, like I said, it's like Darth Maul's bread and butter, really. The thing I love about spin attack is, say if you catch a hero, maybe Rey, let's say Rey. For some reason, I always seem to come up against Rey as Darth Maul. You can hit them with a spin attack. You know, they'll be facing you maybe. Hit them with a spin attack, do damage. Turn around quickly. You'll have to have high enough sensitivity. If you've watched my Heroes vs Villains streams, you'll know I do this a lot. Hit them with another spin attack. Turn around quickly. Hit them with another spin attack. And by that point, you've already dropped their health by probably like 25%, 30% just with those spin attacks. And spin attacks are really... There's no defense against them, really. I mean, if you force push at the exact right time, it will break Darth Maul's spin attack. And the main sort of opponent to Darth Maul's spin attack is Rey's lightsaber charge ability, or I can't, like, charge that, you know, I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. if you hit Rey's lightsaber charge ability, while with a spin attack, it will knock you back. You lose that sort of confrontation, but other than that, spin attacks are really unbeatable. You move them way too fast to get shot, and it's very unlikely that people will be fast enough on the trigger to force push you while, right before you hit them with the spin attack. Spin attack, very good for doing damage before the enemy. It's good for doing damage that the enemy can't even defend against. If the enemy is blocking with his or her lightsaber, that's a defense against it. But like I said, if you've got your sensitivity up high enough, you can just turn around super fast, hit them with another spin attack from the other side, and they won't defend against that. It's very good for doing damage that they can't defend against. And 3 instead of 2, always going to be better. Now the recharge rate, like I said, 15% slower. That's going to be improved by Fool Me Once below. But before I get onto that, now I told you I'd get onto that, and I had a fix for it. But before I get into that, spin attack, one more thing, super good for getting around the map. If there's no enemies in sight, say if the map's about to end, or match is about to end, and you just want to get some kills as Maul or something, or maybe your high value target, the one that you're supposed to defend on Heroes vs Villains, maybe he's about to die, he or she is about to die. Very good for rushing to their aid and getting to, backing them up quite quickly. He's the fastest at moving around the map, even faster than Boba Fett, I think. Because you really can get around the map very fast with spin attacks. Like I said, no one can shoot you with spin attacks, which means it's a very good dodge, mechanism or maneuver. Say if you're in a big wide open corridor, maybe at the end of the Naboo Galactic Assault map, you're in a big wide open corridor, you run into a room where there's really no cover, but there's a ton of dudes that are all shooting at you. Spin attack, using spin attack once, twice, maybe even 3 times, very good for either escaping from that room or closing the gap between you and them, so you can do some damage with Maul's double-bladed, beautiful lightsaber. Now, on to the next one, Fool Me Once. The recharge rate is 9% faster for all of Darth Maul's abilities. Obviously, if you upgrade this to purple, I think, hang on, let me show you what it would be for purple. Now, purple would be 10%, it would be 10% faster, but right now it's 9% faster. Using Fool Me Once not only gives you a massive advantage because you can use all of Darth Maul's abilities to, whatever you use, all of his other abilities, you can use them 9% faster, or if you're at purple level, 10% faster. Super useful for that, but it's also super useful for combating the negative effect of flow motion. Like I said, the recharge rate for spin attack with the flow motion is 15% slower. That's kind of annoying, it is. But using Fool Me Once will really close that gap. Say if you have them both at blue level, at rare level, you'll only end up with a 6% slower recharge rate for your spin attacks, which you really do not notice when you've got 3. Believe me, you really, really, really do not notice it. And when you upgrade flow motion, is it flow motion? Hang on one sec. Yeah, when you upgrade flow motion, hang on, okay, I've just screwed that up once. 1 second. When you upgrade flow motion, you can actually get it to 10%. You can actually get a 10% recharge rate deduction or reduction if you upgrade it to epic level. So 10%, like I said, 10% if you get it up to epic level, and obviously if you get Fool Me Once up to epic level, it makes sure powers recharge 10% faster. So there's actually going to be no negative effect from flow motion. It's completely going to balance it out perfectly. So it's a really good way of balancing that recharge rate out, because I don't know about you, but I have been caught a ton of times as Maul, and I've gone to click right bumper to use a spin attack to either get the hell out of the way of someone who's shooting at me or something, or close the gap, and it hasn't been there because I've run out of spin attacks. Fool Me Once, definitely going to help out a lot. Now, accelerated throw with Furious Throw basically makes your lightsaber throw deal 25% more damage. Now, I'm going to go into, at the end, I'll go into why I didn't use all of these other ones, but like all these other star cards, and why I choose these 3 over those other ones. But accelerated throw, I find super useful because, like I said, it makes Darth Maul's lightsaber throw do more damage. I find it to be the most useful, or one of the most useful star cards to use on your 3rd slot, because that's Darth Maul's only ranged attack. So if ever you run out of spin attacks, or if ever you run out of dodges, because dodges on B or circle or evade, whatever you want to call it. So you do run out of it. You can do it, I think, twice, and then you've got like a small cooldown until you can use the dodge again on B, or like I said, circle if you're on PlayStation 4. So Accelerated throw, very, very useful if there's still a gap or a distance between you and an enemy. And that enemy is shooting at you or making their way towards you. Very, very good to hit them with accelerated throw. Also, super useful for catching people who are running. Maybe you're trying to chase down the target on Heroes vs. Villains. Super useful for throwing it ahead of you, catching them, and it will stun them and knock them back, obviously. But with accelerated throw, it's actually going to deal more damage to them, which, you know, dealing more damage before you've even got in a fight with that person, before that person even has a good, you know, a chance to fight back. Very, very useful, really useful. And so if you're taking on, I don't know, Han Solo in a big, wide open area, Han Solo is obviously going to have the advantage because Maul can't block, and he can dodge and everything, but still, if the guy playing as Han Solo is good and accurate, he's going to have the advantage. He's probably going to take you out before you can get to them. This is going to make it so that you can do damage to him, do range damage to him, but also stun him, so it'll knock him back and give you a chance to use spin attack or a dodge or a force jump to really close that gap and do damage to him. Also, it's the only one of Maul's abilities that you can use whilst you're in the air. So with Maul, his sort of, like I said earlier in the video, his bread and butter and his main thing is to be as fast and sort of uncatchable as possible. It's like the fast, deadly type of assassin type build, or character build, I guess you could call it. And, you know, the other ones, like spin attack, for example, and his force choke / force push, you can't use them in air. You've got to wait until you drop. And like I said, with Maul, you got to be as sort of mobile and agile as possible. You're going to be jumping a lot if you're good with Maul and if you know what you're doing with Maul. So the fact that you can't use force choke or force push, or spin attack, sorry. The fact that you can't use either of those in air really puts you at a big disadvantage if you're, you know, jumping above someone who's got a pretty good aim. They're going to do a ton of damage to you, and you can't do any damage to them until you land. But with Furious Throw, very, very useful because, like I said, you can throw it whilst you're in the air. So maybe you're jumping, over and amongst all of the rooftops on Mos Eisley, like you do. I mean, that's what everyone does, I guess, when they play that map. This is going to be really useful for just catching people off guard, hitting them from above, and doing damage from above. And like I said, that card, Accelerated Throw, is going to do more damage. It's going to allow you to do more goddamn damage. It's very useful and very good. Now this build, I've broke down all of the star cards, but obviously there's a ton of different star cards that you could have used. There's Range Throw, there's Unrolled Grip, there is Forceful Thrust, there is Lightsaber Defense, there is Thrown to Slow, and there is Frantic Strikes. Now, the reason I didn't pick these, I'm going to go through each of them. Range Throw. Furious Throw travels farther. Now, this is actually a very good alternative to Accelerated Throw. However, because without the extra damage you get from Accelerated Throw, the Lightsaber Throw really does not do much damage. It doesn't at all. It's not going to take out a trooper at long range. It's not going to do much damage. It's still going to stun them and everything. It's whoever it hits. If it hits a hero, it's still going to knock them back. If it hits a hero, or like a heavy or something, it's still going to knock them back and stun them very briefly, but it's not going to do that much damage to them. And since that's his only ranged attack, you'd want it to do quite a bit of damage, or at least kind of like a substantial amount of damage. And it doesn't without Accelerated Throw. It really doesn't. If you want to be more sort of, I don't know, like range with Darth Maul, then Range Throw is a good card to use. But again, like I said, Darth Maul's really about staying agile, staying fast, staying hard to kill and hard to catch, and that none of those things lend themselves to a ranged playstyle. I mean, he's only got one ranged attack. If you're constantly at range, if you're constantly, attacking people at long range or trying to kill people at long range, then you're going to be at a big disadvantage with Darth Maul, because his whole playstyle is centered around close range, sort of stealth attacks and quick, agile attacks that can't be defended against. So you really shouldn't be playing at, at a long range or a ranged distance. So Ranged Throw, really not that useful. Really not that useful. Now, Unrolled Grip. This, Chokehold has an increased area of effect. Again, it's good, and that is a good option, but I don't think it's better than any of these. The chokehold that Darth Maul has, I don't find flawed. I don't think it's bad in any way. I don't think it's flawed in any way. I actually find it probably the most useful force ability in the game, apart from Luke Skywalker's ground pound thing, because it's really good for grabbing people and knocking them off ledges. It seems to be more of an accurate sort of force push than, say, Luke Skywalker's or Yoda's or Kylo Ren's force pull. Darth Maul's chokehold seems to be super accurate. You know, say if you're playing Heroes vs Villains on Kashyyyk, for example, very easy to knock enemies off of the map and off of the edge of the map. That map's a nightmare for Heroes vs Villains, it really is, but it's very easy to knock people off the edge of the map with Darth Maul's chokehold. I don't think it's flawed at all, and having an increased area of effect, I don't think it really needs that. It certainly doesn't need that more than you need flow motion or accelerated throw or fool me once. Now on to the next one. Forceful thrust. Everybody loves a forceful thrust or two, don't they? Chokehold throws the enemy farther away. Now the reason this is bad, this isn't just kind of unuseful or not useful at all. This is actually actively bad, and the reason it is because, like I said, you want to be sort of melee range, you want to be close range attacks, you want to do like assassin based attacks. Darth Maul is not a sniper, he's not a sniper based character, he's a close range based character, one of the most close ranged in the game. So the ability to throw the enemy farther away in front of you is just going to give them the advantage, because there's going to be a bigger gap, a bigger distance between you and them, so they're going to have more chance to either run away or shoot you, and you're going to have a bigger distance that you need to travel and to close before you can actually get at them, and you know, get at them with Darth Maul's, like I said before, beautiful freaking double-bladed lightsaber. So it's really not that useful, I don't think, and most of the time when the chokehold is needed, with Darth Maul's, you know, force pushes chokehold thing, most of the time it's to you know, take out a massive group of enemies at once, or just stun them, you know, knock them back and stun them. It's not really like a high damage type thing, and it's not really going to be aided by the fact that you can throw them further away. Again, if you look at the star card image there, on the right of the screen there, as you can see, that's Darth Maul's hand, and it's pushing some clones back along a really far and really open corridor. Now, who do you think's got the advantage there? Darth Maul, who's got no cover and like, I don't know, like 20-30 meters to cover, or the clone troopers, which have ranged weapons, are completely range-based, or long-range-based troopers and trooper classes. They're obviously going to do some damage to Maul, and Maul can't do anything about that. Even if he uses his 3 spin attacks, it's still going to be hard to close that gap without getting, without taking any damage. So it doesn't really make sense. Now onto this one. Darth Maul receives less damage from blasters. The reason this is unuseful, it's kind of useful for Maul, something more useful than forceful thrust. Lightsaber defense, it is kind of useful and you could go with it, but the thing is, if you're being slow enough and sort of not being agile enough for blasters to hit you, or hit you a lot, and for blasters to be like a main issue for you, then you're really not playing Maul properly. Because Maul should be played, it should be sort of, keep him in the shadows, keep him sort of stealthy, don't run out into the middle of a wide open battlefield, keep him behind, you know, walls or doors or obstacles or whatever, and just attack when you see one lone trooper or one lone hero. Attack when they're on their own, and either do a ton of damage or kill them, and then run before any help arrives for that person that you're about to take out. Sticking around long enough to take damage from blasters, like I said, you're really not playing Maul properly if you're sticking around long enough, or, you know, taking on enough people to actually take damage from blasters. It would be useful, I guess. If you play a lot of Galactic Assault, obviously 90% of the people that you'll come up against, 90% of the people that you've got to kill in Galactic Assault are going to be blaster wielders. They're going to be long-range sort of people using blasters, not lightsabers or anything. Maybe if you play a ton of Galactic Assault, try this lightsaber defense card out, but other than that, I don't think it's as useful as Fool Me Once, Flow Motion, and Accelerated Throw. On to the next one. When Darth Maul chokeholds 2 or more enemies, the damage is increased again. I'm going to go back to what I said before. Darth Maul's chokehold isn't a high damager. It's not meant as a high damager. It's meant to sort of stun a ton of enemies or knock a ton of enemies back to either give you a chance to run away, to knock someone off the map, or to, you know, give you a chance to knock them back, stun them, and then close the gap and take them out. It's not really a high damage thing. His high damage thing is spin attack, so I don't think you should invest the crafting parts or the credits for thrown to slow. I don't think it's that useful. If you play Galactic Assault, this might be useful, but it won't be as useful as these 3 things here. I don't think you should use it. On to the next one. Frantic strikes. Melee strikes will drain less stamina. Now this is one of the, well, I guess this is kind of an issue with Rey, maybe, because I find with Rey and with Yoda, I run out of stamina a ton. Like, I always seem to run out of stamina playing as Rey and Yoda. But with Maul, I don't know if he's actually got, like, statistically, I don't know if he's actually got more stamina on paper than Yoda or Kylo Ren or Rey, but it really seems that way. It seems like he doesn't run out of stamina a lot. I don't think I've ever run out of stamina. I don't think I've ever had to stop using my attacks on right trigger or R2 if you're on PS4, because I've run out of stamina with Maul. It's a common problem with Rey, who's obviously got less stamina than Maul, and kind of a common problem with Yoda. Maybe with Luke. I've never played with Luke, so I don't know. And I've witnessed it a couple of times with Kylo Ren, but never with Maul. So I don't think it's that useful. I don't think having melee strikes draining less damage, draining less stamina, I don't think that's useful. Especially because, if you take my advice and use flow motion, having those 3 spin attacks, even if you did run out of stamina, you can just use the spin attacks. They're super useful, super effective, and they're pretty high damaging too, especially when you've got 3 of them instead of 2. So that's not super useful. I don't think Frantic Strikes is really very useful. Now, I think I've covered everything. Let me know if I've left anything out, obviously, in the comments, or if there's anything else you guys want to know. Leave it in the comments. I don't think you guys want to know what emote I use. I mean, I guess I'll show you. I do like this Sith are all powerful. I like to spam that sometimes, right before I, engage in a lightsaber duel between me and Rey or me and Luke or whatever. I like to spam that because it looks really cool, just using that, doing that saber flurry a couple of times. Other than that, victory pose, useless. I mean, why would you guys want to know what victory pose I use? That makes no sense. I will be making another one of these kind of videos for maybe a different playstyle with Maul. Maybe I'm considering doing one that's based more around Galactic Assault, maybe, or maybe based more around sort of, I don't know. I might do a sort of an ulterior or alternate sort of playstyle for Maul with this kind of video. I'll also do a like a play guide, like how to use Maul effectively in a match or in a battle, how to use him best in multiplayer gameplay. I will be doing a guide for that, and I'll probably do one of these type videos, a leveling guide for either Kylo Ren or Rey sometime soon. Probably Rey. I'm more experienced with Rey than I am with Kylo Ren or Yoda or anything, so look out for those if you want. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Super helpful for me. It would show me that you found this video helpful and useful. And if you want to see any more of my videos, I stream Battlefront 2 basically every day, and I also upload normal videos of Battlefront 2 basically every day as well, so definitely stick around and subscribe if you want to see those. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.